Welcome to the 2026 16th Region Tournament Preview Show on the Total Media Sports Network. Now let's head to Morehead State University for the 2026 16th Region Tournament Preview Show with the Total Media Sports Network broadcast team. And welcome into the 16th Region Preview Show as we get you set for the Boys and Girls 16th Region Tournament. Get going this coming Monday over at Morehead State. Hello everyone, James Collier along with Greg Preston, Bill Bradley, and Coach Hager Eastling. Happy to have you along with us here. Of course, you're here for one reason. You're here looking for the brackets, so let's waste no time. Before we get to it though, we'll start first on the girls. They will play first, then the boys will get going from there. The draw for the draw, the most anticipated moments of the entire thing. The 63rd, 64th, 62nd, 61st. That was the rotation for the draw for the girls. All right, let's take a look at the girls bracket. These tournament games will begin on Monday night at 6:30. It'll be the champions of the 62nd District, the Morgan County Cougars. They'll play the runners-up out of the 64th District, the Boyd County Lions. In the bottom half of that bracket at 8 p.m., the champions of the 63rd District, Russell, will play the runners-up out of the 61st, Rowan County. On Tuesday at 6:30, the champions of the 61st, Menifee County, will play the runners-up out of the 63rd, Raceland. And the final game at 8 p.m. on Tuesday night, you'll get the champions of the 64th, Ashland, against the runners-up out of the 62nd, East Carter. Now, a little bit different way that the brackets are going to play after we get out of the first two rounds. We'll take a pause on Wednesday. That's a weather day if anything would happen. Then we'll come back on Thursday and play girls semifinals, 6:30 and 8 o'clock. And then a girls championship will play Friday night at 7 p.m. And you can catch all that action right here on the Total Media Sports Network. All right, off to the boys bracket we go. The draw for the draw, well, it was chalk. 61st, 62nd, 63rd, 64th, right in a row. All right, let's go into our boys bracket. These games will play opening round all on Saturday. First game will tip off at 12 o'clock. It'll be the champions of the 64th District, Boyd County. It'll be a battle for the Lions as they'll play the runner-up out of the 62nd District, the Elliott County Lions. In the bottom half of that bracket at 1:30, you'll have the champions of the 63rd, Russell, against the runners-up of the 61st, Fleming County. We pause and come back at 6:30 that evening, and we'll have the champions of the 62nd District, Morgan County, against the runners-up of the 63rd, Raceland. And then the final game of the night, you'll get the champions of the 61st District, Rowan County, against the runners-up of the 64th in Ashland. We'll play semifinals on Monday at 6:30 and 8, and in the boys championship on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And again, you can catch all that action right here on the Total Media Sports Network. Across the bottom of your screen, the ticker there's all your game scores, or game schedules for the two opening round games. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we will take a look at our brackets, break everything down, make our picks for the girls' side of things. It starts on Monday here at Morehead State. As we continue our coverage here on the Clark's Pump and Shop 16th Region Preview Show on the Total Media Sports Network.
Good morning, Isabella.
Hi, David.
Back for your morning routine?
Clark's Refresh Rewards program is something you'll flip for.
Hey, Isabella. Hi, Annabelle.
Donut?
Don't forget the sprinkles. Cream and sugar.
Download our app today and enjoy all of the rewards. No flipping required.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
You're not the only one.
In the mountains of eastern Kentucky, Morehead State University carries on a championship tradition that gives everyone a reason to cheer. MSU is where you can win on the field and in the classroom. Join the Eagle Nation.
Life moves fast, and the moments don't wait. The first steps, the first home, the dreams you work so hard for. Where you place your trust matters. At Members Choice Credit Union, we're here for every milestone. Through the hard days, the hopeful days, and everything in between. Your money, your future, your choice.
And we're back here at Morehead State University on the Clark's Puppet Shop 16th Region Preview Show, along with Greg Preston, Coach Bill Bradley, Coach Hager Riesling. Guys, it's that time of year we finally get to. This is when all of those games, all those practices that start back in October and open gyms over the summer, this is when all of it starts to pay off.
Yeah, it's the practice-wise, you think about the first day of practice, and then first day of district practice, and then regional practice, and this is the fun part of it, I think. And Hager, I think, will agree with me. It doesn't like it, nothing like it.
Coach, going through the weather delay that we had, again, that's a tough thing because you get some of those teams that maybe the season's not going the way they wanted to, and then they've got to stop, and now they got to ramp it back up, and here we are in tournament time.
Yeah, and I think it made the season seem longer. It's more of a grind when you have a big break like that because of the weather. And I really think it threw some teams off the way they were playing before that and the way they came back and played after. I think it really hurt some teams.
Greg, for us on the broadcaster side, no days off. I mean,
no
it
days
was just
off
a
on
grind to get through everything, but
yes.
It is the fun time of the year for postseason basketball.
It is the fun time of year, win or go home.
So the brackets, when we get those, let's take a look again at the brackets. Again, girls opening rounds will play on Monday and Tuesday. Again, we shift things around this year. They're going to play semifinals on Thursday, girls on Friday. So we'll play the entire girls tournament, and then we'll switch into the boys starting on Saturday. But guys, let's start in the first half of the bracket. Let's look at Morgan County and Boyd County. Derek Young, phenomenal job this year with his Cougars. And, I talked with Derek last year, and I remember asking him, I said, where are you? He goes, right now, he said, I think we're about 10, 12 points behind East Carter. He goes, but we're coming. This year, he felt like that they had really closed that gap. And you could watch as the season went along, and I had his team several times this year. They won the All-A this year. They've got the pieces there to really be a thorn in the side. And they've got an opportunity here to play themselves in a possible chance of making a run in the championship game.
Yeah, they actually should have beaten East Carter the last game of the regular season, James. Had some free throw goms, for a better word, there at the end of the regulation. But you look at this game, these two teams didn't play this year. I don't think they did.
No.
For me, Morgan County, Gracie Hampton has got to play well in this game. She's got to stay in the game to handle boys' pressure. And if they can do that and get the ball up on the glass, Boyd County's not been a good defensive rebounding team this year. You got Klinger and Littoral in there. Morgan can give some trouble that way. And Boyd County, they need to clean that up, obviously, on the defensive glass. A lot of people forget that's the finish of playing defense. That's why they call it a defensive rebound. You got to get the ball off the defensive glass.
Coach, I remember the All-A tournament when they played Raceland and got the victory in the championship game. It was because of the way they did the work on the glass. And I talked with Littoral and Hampton both after the game, and that was one of the things they said. They really wanted to kind of set the tone from the glass. Yeah,
when tournament time, things slow down a little bit, and two key, I think the biggest keys are rebounding and turnovers. You shorten the game down, less possessions. Those two stats are key to the whole deal.
Greg, for Boyd County, it's been some highs and some lows.
It has.
And they've got the pieces of the puzzle there that on any given night, if the ball's going through the net, they're tough to beat. But at the other time, they live and die by the three, and some nights they've died really bad.
Some nights they do, and they're so young. And that's, had they grown up is the question.
You look at what they have. Obviously, Jada Ray, she's had a phenomenal year as a sophomore. Carly Boyd, a player that's going to work on the wing. Colin Grove's only an 8th grader, and she's playing well above her years.
Yes, no doubt about that. And, Jada Ray's got to play well for Boyd County to win. I mean, the volume of shots she gets up, Boyd County, she's got to play well.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's one of the things when we get into the big gymnasium, two things that changed, and both of you guys have coached on this floor. The backdrop is different, and you add 10 feet to the floor, and that team that has the extra depth, the better the conditioning side of things, is usually a team that gets those first-round victories.
It always is, and you start your offense. It happens all the time. You go 3 feet past the half-court line here, you start to throw a pass. You're a lot farther away, so it's a big adjustment.
Coach, I remember we were talking to Pete Fraley when he was still coaching. One of the things he used to tell his girls, there's 3 lines on the floor.
Yeah,
and he told them, he said, you can go to the one that's the closest to it. He said, you don't have to stop all the way. So they've got the high school line they tape in. Yeah. Then they had the former girls line that was painted in. And then the actual, what used to be the boys, which then they moved back for boys and girls for college. So that's the college line. So there's 3 lines there they get to choose from. And usually, he said that one year, so I had to tell my girls, move in. You've got 3 feet. You can scoot in a little bit if you need to.
Yeah, and it does confuse them sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that when they catch the ball, they're looking down to see where they're at. And to me, I think that's the biggest thing you mentioned is the shooting background. The floor never did. I didn't think it ever bothered us that much. We never even talked about it, as a matter of fact. But the shooting background is so much different. I think that's the biggest effect on playing over here.
All right, bottom half of that bracket, champions of the 61st, Russell, runners-up of Rowan County. Mandy Lane's team, again, when you get into postseason basketball and you start talking about this, they've won the district 11 straight years. And the streak is, I think it's 82 or 83 games now. It's 86, my mistake. 86 they've got it out to. But when you look at what they've got a very senior heavy team, but they've got 2 phenomenal youth kids in Lily Irvin and Kinley Coons, both who are starters.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, James, because when those 2 play well, it really elevates Russell up into the next level. And I don't know, can they do that over here on the big stage? We'll see. Oborn and Darnell always lead the way. They've got to play well, I think, for Russell to have a chance to win this. Mandy's going to do a great job. She's been in this so many times. I mean, she's ready for anything that comes up. So,
Bill, you've been around Russell a lot with the games that you've coached against and called with me and stuff and other avenues and stuff. Kennedy Darnell and Gabby Oborn may be one of the best 1-2 punches that we've seen come through basketball in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, Kennedy was an 8th grader. She had a great game against Ashland, and it really was her coming out party that time. And she played well ever since. And you're right about Gabby. I know she had a little wrist thing going on, but I think she's okay now. But they got to have her 3-point shooting. You know, if they don't have her hitting threes, then it's going to be a struggle for them to score offensively.
Greg, you saw Russell twice this year when the girls played. A nice win at home. They got beat by 20 at Russell and at their latter part of the season. But it's something that when Russell gets that momentum moving downhill, sometimes you turn into just collateral damage because there's nothing you can do to slow it down.
Yeah, and you know, Darnell, you all mentioned, she's just so good. You know what you're going to get from her. She's solid all the time.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you love that.
The way that they get after you defensively, that's something that's always been a key with Mandy Lane's team is, you know, they create their offense from their defense. And they didn't quite have those type of horses this year. They had to change some stuff up. But I think one of the biggest players that has really kind of stepped to the forefront of that next step has been Lily Irvin. And then, of course, Kinley Coons. I mean, she's a double-double machine every given night if she gets an opportunity.
yeah, she can do it. And you mentioned the defense. I don't think she's got quite the depth this year that she's had in the past, so she couldn't really go out there for 32 minutes or 30, whatever she wanted to do, and just full court press, run, trap you, push the tempo. She had to kind of, back off that a little bit this year, and she played a really tough schedule. The starters had to play a lot of minutes in those games, tough games, and I think it took a lot out of them this year.
Coach, one of the players for Russell that I think is kind of an unsung hero is Cameron Fleming. She's a girl that just kind of hangs in the post, and you look up and all of a sudden now she's got 7.7 rebounds. Yeah. And she can draw things away from those other players that want to work out on the perimeter.
She's really come a long way this year, and she's another one that they have to have produce those 7 and 7s to have a shot. And you mentioned the Irvin girl. She's of course she's the daughter of Sarah Click, who was a great player for Boyd County, and she played the same way, really aggressive, and her confidence has come a long way as well.
Yeah, you can tell it. Their opponent is Rowan County. Greg, you saw Rowan County back in the 2A. Matt Stokes, again, he's got the pieces there, but down the stretch, and I was talking with him just a little bit ago, he said one of the things is, he said it's been really tough to keep the kids going moving forward. He said it's kind of been one of those grinded out type of seasons. Yeah, but they've got some kids that can shoot the ball. And when you can shoot the ball, especially the way they do from beyond the line, you got a chance. Now, you've got 3 players over double figures. Kelby Ford, leading the way at Rowan County. We've heard that before. Again, averaging over 16 a game. Ellie Ingalls at 12, and then Cassie Perkins with 10. They shoot at 31% from beyond the arc, 65% from the free throw line. 32 rebounds a night. In girls basketball, 32 rebounds a night. They've got 2 players averaging over 8 rebounds a game in Laura Eastham and Kelby Ford. That is a big key to the puzzle that I think Russell really will struggle with that side of it, even though they played earlier this year and Russell won that game by 20, and it was because they got the game up and down.
Yeah, easy win, 64-40. You're right. I know they shot the ball well that night
in
against
the
you
2A,
guys,
yes.
but for the most part this year, I hate to say this, they couldn't hit water or hit the ocean from the beach. You know, they couldn't throw it in the ocean from the beach, and then Matt's talked about that. But if they do have one of those nights, where they shoot the ball, because they're going to shoot some threes, they're going to get them up there, and the possibility is there that they could do that. They struggled a lot shooting, but they could do that. They could give Russell some trouble, and the size will matter because Russell's not a big team.
They're not a big
And I
team.
really like Eastham in the middle. She controls the paint.
Good
She
shot
does
blocker.
she does a great job.
Yeah, I've seen Round play twice, and if Ford plays inspired ball and tries to do a lot of stuff, then they can hang with anybody. She kind of goes through the motions, and they struggle a little bit. Like against Ashland, she kind of went through it.
Yeah.
But then I saw another game. She just went crazy. Had a great game.
Listen, Matt's just happy he didn't draw Stacy and Ashland. The last 2 years he had Haven. He drew Ashland first round. They got popped in both games. So, that was kind of the joke was like we just go ahead and put Ashland around down here. But he stayed away from him the last 2 years. But we'll see how this one plays out. All right, bottom half of the bracket. This starts off Tuesday at 6:30. Champions out of 61st, maybe one of the hottest teams in the field right now. Menifee County won 4 straight, 5 of the last 6. And here's an interesting stat for you guys. So their last loss, they fell 31-30 to Estill County.
Yeah.
They've scored 57 points or more, including going over 60 3 of the 4 games in that mix. You want to talk about dog days of winter in one game, it's an anomaly with an asterisk beside of it. They scored 30, their lowest points they scored all season long, and then they've got 4 straight rolling. But Drew Schwartz's team has really got things moving, and they look very solid right now.
Absolutely. You got the leading rebounder in the region averaging 14 rebounds a game, and Peyton Burgess, and one of the best guards in the region against, J.C. Jeviden. And you start right there, then if the other 3 kind of fill in with a little bit around them, the possibilities there. This could be maybe the closest, most exciting game of the first round.
And this is going to be a repeat of a game that played over at Raceland back on February 19th, 65-55. Raceland had a double-digit lead. Menifee County a much better second half, and it started with the ability of Peyton Burgess stretching the floor. She got out, hit a couple long-range shots, and then J.C. Jeviden took over in the second half, Coach.
Yeah, Burgess, if you recall last year's regional tournament, she had a great regional tournament last year. And she's played lights out since. And you mentioned Coach Schwartz. I look at all the coaches in the girls' side. It's really hard to pick a coach of the year, if there was a legitimate pick.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of these coaches have done such a good job this year, and Coach Schwartz is one of them.
Greg, one thing with Menifee County that I know the tournament here is happy to hear about is that Menifee County's back in the field. They had 2 of the biggest crowds last year in the girls, and I mean everybody from Frenchburg. Last person out of town shut the lights off and rolled the sidewalks out.
Yeah, and they got 2 kids that can really play.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. Jeviden and Burgess, the real. I got a chance to see them once this year, and they're both really good. I get a chance to see Raceland, but Menifee County's really good.
They are. Addison Reed, Carson Wells, the other 2 kind of role players, Coach, and that's something that you've got to have is that Jeviden and Burgess is going to do their thing, but you've got to have one of those complements that doesn't allow you to go out and go triangle 2, box and 1 and try to shut down one of those 2 players. But Burgess, no matter what you do, she's a matchup nightmare no matter how you play it.
Yeah, exactly. And Reed is the one that usually steps up with those 2. She'll hide in one of the corners, so Raceland's got to locate her quick in transition. But she's usually shooting threes out of the corner. Yeah. And like you said, Burgess, she's the kind of player that coaches hate to play against because she's a great rebounder. And as soon as she rebounds, Bill Walton was great at the outlet pass. She's great at ripping it off the boards and taking off. I mean, she can go end to end on you, so that really makes it tough in transition.
This is going to be the rubber match of this series. Raceland beat Menifee County in the All-A Classic in the semifinal 61-56 and then fell last week 65-55. You look at Raceland, and of course, guys, it all starts with Nim. Nim Maynard, what a phenomenal career that she's had. She has the school record for most points in a career. She broke the school record for most points in a game at 42 in the regular season game against Greenup. But she's just a player that she gets everybody involved, and then all of a sudden you look up, and next thing you know, she's got 25, 28 points.
Yeah, she in her younger days, she just settled for that three-pointer. Now, I think she leads the region in free throw attempts, I think, and she's right at it anyway. So she's strong, a lot stronger now, goes the hole, not afraid of contact, and obviously she's got to have a whale of a game to win.
Coach, we've seen him many times this year.
Yeah.
And again, when Nim is getting other people involved, that's when she has those big games. But a couple of players that has been very instrumental for them this year. Sydney Childers has been huge as an 8th grader, but Annie Lyon in the paint. There may be nights that she doesn't score a single point, but she'll have double-digit rebounds.
Absolutely, and I'm trying to. I think you and I did both of those games together.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and Lyons, I love her. We talked about her on the last game that we did. She's one that she's like the lunch pail guy. I mean, she goes to work every game. She does what she does to help that team. She doesn't care if she scores. She's rebounding. She's playing defense. She's setting ball screens, and she just fights her behind off in there. I would like to have an Annie Lyon on my team.
Mm-hmm. Greg, another person that Raceland possesses, and this is a great school to have, is Sophie Maynard, and she's as fast as a deer.
Yep.
And defensively, she will chase around typically the best scorer of the night, and she will chase them end to end 94 feet.
Right, and everybody needs one of those. Somebody's got to stop somebody, but like I said, I haven't really got a chance to see them play this year, but they got a good ball club.
Coach, the big thing with Raceland is they do have some depth. Thornburg, she had a really good first game there in a win over Greenup County. Came off the bench with 12 points. Aubrey Terry is a player that's a very stretch guard that can kind of pull in, and she kind of takes the role when Lyon needs to go to the bench. And then, of course, you got Braylee Toole that's out there on the floor, and if she gets hot, she can knock it down from me on the floor. Had a career high 6 threes in the opening round game there with Greenup County for 23 points. The pieces are there for Marty Thomas. In their 3rd consecutive year that they've gone. Not a record for the Rams, even though some people out there put it out and just said, yeah, that's it. It's not. They went 5 consecutive years from 04 to 08. Check your sources, people. But, yeah, I am throwing a little shade out there. But I mean, Coach Bradley, this is going to be one of those games that lock in. This is going to be a great way to kick off night number 2.
You said it, it's a rubber match, and when that happens, and again, both those coaches have done such a good job with these teams. It's amazing how far they've come, and how with Marty, how much he's grown as a coach. Since he started, and he knows how to do adjustments now, and both teams have been there before, so. The jitters should be, after the first couple minutes, they should be okay there, so it should be a heck of a game.
For sure. And again, it's big that Menifee County was there last year. Now, again, they lost several pieces of the puzzle, but Burgess is back, Jivenen's back. I mean, you've got those 2 main cogs of the wheel that return. All right, final game on day number 2 is the 64th District champion Ashland, 62nd District runner-up East Carter. Greg, we've had Ashland twice this year, and, really good ball games. They're in the middle of the season. Boyd fell in that one 60-54. District championship game, it was a very competitive game, and then it kind of fell apart late. Boyd had an injury issue that happened right there at a halftime, and that allowed Ashland to extend it out. But Ashland is a team that if they get an opportunity to find separation and they find it, it's a bad day.
Yep, they're very good at every position. Gabby Carley does a great job of running that team. And she's not looking to score first, even though she's the team's leading scorer. She finds everybody. She defends, she finds her teammates, and she's really good on defense.
Coach, she's had some really good players to watch as she comes through as well. Again, playing with Kenley and some of the players that she was there with as a younger player. Gabby is a player that she doesn't care if she scores a single point, just as long as she leads her team somehow to a victory.
She has that knack to knowing what her team needs, and she might get 10 rebounds a game or 10 assists, or she might score 21 points like she did the other night in the championship game. But she's one of the key. Obviously, Brooklyn is a key as well.
Yeah, but we're getting her in a second.
But they got to have Gabby do her thing.
Yeah, Gabby's 16th Region Player of the Year, very well deserved. Just a phenomenal. And the great part of it is that she always has a smile on her face.
Oh yeah.
No matter what's going on, getting beat around, thrown around, whatever, she's playing with pure passion because she loves the game.
Oh, yeah, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to offend anybody.
It's okay, offend. I do all the time.
I know you don't care. I've been around a long time, obviously. She is the best at passing the ball off the dribble that I have ever seen in this region. I mean, and not just from me to you. I mean, she'll throw it from one foul line to the other, and left and right-handed both.
Yeah, one-hand passing.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that kid. She's improved so much.
Yeah.
Chad Tackett might bring her over in the football team and work on some of those passes.
Yeah, you could run the option. She can pitch with right or left hand. Yeah, and she does. She always has a smile on her face, and she's always competing. And she's the kind of player too, James, that you love in postseason because she will make the big play when you need it when the time comes.
Brooklyn Duckweiler. When you think of her, the first word that comes to mind for me is just battery. She's the energizer.
Yeah.
She is just so much energy on the floor. And coach, on both ends, she gets up and down, and a lot of times what she does defensively leads to opportunities that they get offensively.
She really is, and she's a free spirit. She's not afraid of anything on both ends, and sometimes she gets a little wild with the ball or will foul trouble sometimes, but her intensity now is and her talent level has gone from here to way up now, and she might be number one player of the year next year starting off. Who knows? But that 1-2 punch there could carry him a long way.
Greg, I talked with Brooklyn in the preseason, and I asked her, I said, what's the one goal for you personally that you want to achieve to make this team get where it wants to go? And she said confidence. I got to build confidence. You can tell she's playing a lot of confidence.
She's certainly playing with a lot of confidence right now, and she should be. I mean, she does it on both ends of the floor. You got to make sure you know where she's at every time. You really do.
We've spent a lot of time already on Ashland. We've talked about two players.
Yeah.
And we haven't even got to their post player, who's the reigning 16th region tournament MVP, and Ariana Gully. You look at what she does. You blink, and next thing you know, she's got a double-double. Yeah. But she has made herself available to stretch away from the basket this year. And she can step out and hit that little 12, 15-foot mid-range jump. When you get your post player that can stretch the floor out to 15 feet, it just opens up the wealth of opportunities offensively.
Absolutely, and her basketball IQ has really, I think, this year just skyrocketed too. And you're right, she can step out, she can make that shot, and she's really good in the ball screen, James, either screening and popping for that little short jumper or rolling to the basket, and they hit her on the roll, or she'll roll into a post. And when she gets down in there and gets set in that post, you're not moving her out.
And, Coach, one of the things we've seen many times this year if we're Ashland is when teams elect to try to play behind her and in front of her, one of the things that happens is that opens up somebody else, and a lot of times that's a straight line drive to the basket.
It is, and Ariana's done a lot better job this year because she knows the double team's coming now, and she's been stronger this year, and she put on the weights she lifted has really helped, and now she's starting to find people cutting to the basket. And Stacey's done a good job teaching these girls. You see your girl leave, you go right to the block, and she'll hit you with a layup.
A player that has returned after an injury that has come back in. She's now back in the starting rotation, but she is a bulldog defensively. That's Jenna Delaney.
Yes.
And you could really tell from the game when they played on February the 2nd, she came back that game. That was her first game back after the injury earlier in the season. From what she looked like in that district championship game, you can tell she's playing with a lot more energy, and her basketball legs are back under.
Yeah, she looked really good the other night in the championship game. She's so strong.
Yeah.
And, she can defend so well. You can't get around her because she does a good job staying in front of you, and she's so strong you can't.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough pill whenever she's the one that will go out and try to lock in on that leading scorer of the other team, because she's going to stick a nose in your chest, and that's what she's going to get.
Yeah, she'll guard 1 through 5. She'll guard a point guard, and so will Troxler. Troxler can guard 1 through 5 as well. That's two tremendous defensive players to have to kind of give breaks to Brooklyn and Gabby or Ariana, and that really makes them special with those two play defense.
And how crazy is it? We're talking about a girl that is 6'1". That is, we haven't talked about her yet.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Ashland has. There's so many pieces of the puzzle that you have to account for, and it's if you miss one or you miss an assignment here or there, it's easy buckets going the other way.
Yeah, Ashland does exactly what you hope to do as a coach, James, is make the other team uncomfortable with their defense. They do a great job of that. I think Stacy, they've won 22 straight against region teams. I think Stacy's 50-6 overall since she took over, which I think you had a losing record against the region when you were coaching. But
I was wondering when it was coming.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming.
jab was
So,
coming.
yeah,
The
that's why I
jab
had to
was coming.
separate these two. I'd never get anything in.
yeah, but with Troxler, man, she's so long, and they go to that half-court trap, and they put her up on the top of it. It's really hard to reverse the ball against them and get it to the other side. So she does a great job. She's great on the glass, blocked shots, key piece, again, on that team.
They'll play East Carter, the runners-up out of the 62nd District. Tough loss to Morgan in the district championship, 53-50, coming off another 21 season for Matthew Clark. And again, this East Carter team, the pieces are there. This will be a rematch of a regular season matchup. Ashland won that game handily.
Yeah.
But 3 players in double figures this year for East: Bristol Boggs, Brindley Walker, and Jocelyn Rudd. This is a game that East Carter needs to try to find a way to do 2 things. Slow it down and keep it in the 50s, and maybe even into the 40s if they can, to be able to limit Ashland to 1 opportunities and really make them want to try to play out of control.
Yeah, I think it's 64-37. Ashland won that game, but these might be the 2 deepest teams in the region as far as playing a lot of people. And you're right. I think that's what East Carter needs to do to have a chance to win, James, is slow it down. But I don't think they will. I just don't think they will. I don't think they can play that way. I think they're going to run. You mentioned those 3 players, and they're going to shoot a lot of threes. I think that's probably the chance they have. If they have a really hot night from 3, they got a chance to make it.
They put up 566 threes this year.
Yeah, they do that. They're going to do that every game. And you mentioned the Walker kid. She is just so talented physically and so athletic. To me, she should be an 18-8, 5-3 girl. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and maybe 2 or 3 steals a game. And she's starting to show that a little bit. If they're going to have a chance, she's really got to step it up this game.
Coach, he talks about, he said, he doesn't think they'll slow it down. It's not who they are. Doesn't he really change your stripes in March? How much does that put on East Carter of having to see that ball go through the net early on?
Yeah, I don't think they'll change either. That's what they've got them there. Same with Stacy. She's not going to change for anybody.
Well, I'm not saying that East Carter doesn't want to play that way.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't think they can. I don't think they can play that way.
I got you. Now, I saw the Walker girl play in a summer game against Ashland, and she just ate them up that game. And she's capable of doing that. She's got to have a huge game, I think 20-plus for her, which also may get a couple of Ashland girls in foul trouble. I know they're deep, but you take a couple of the key players out for that Ashland first 5, then, you never know what can happen.
Without a doubt. All right, guys, let's make our picks for the girls, and then we'll take a break and come back and check on the boys. So let's start in the upper half of the bracket. Game number 1, Monday night at 6:30, Morgan County and Boyd County. Coach Hager-Eastling, I'll start with you.
Shoo. This got a chance to be a really good game. Like I said, I think Hampton needs to play well. To me, it comes down, can Morgan take care of the ball and get the ball on the glass and get some shot? I think Boyd's pressure will pay off. I like Boyd in a close one in this one.
Okay.
Same with Jada getting the clearance now and able to play. I think she'll be about 100%. I think I'll pick Boyd.
Greg?
Boyd as well. I think their pressure will give Morgan some trouble.
I'm going to be the odd duck out.
Uh-oh.
Derek Young, bring the Hawaiian shirts, baby.
It'll be
Morgan
there.
County.
It'll be there.
Just so you'll know, he just put the kiss of death on you, Derek, because
every
he
time
picked
I write it
Fleming
down.
to be in the finals last year, the boys. So.
Yeah, that's okay. You're done for. You'll be by 20. All right, Russell Round County. Greg, I'll start with you.
I like Russell in this one. I think Russell's starting to find a little bit of a stride right now, and they got experience.
Coach?
Same with the defense. I think Russell can lock up about each team around here, except maybe for Ashland. But I pick Russell.
Yeah, Russell, big win regular season. Of course, we've seen that happen a lot in postseason. But yeah, I think Russell wins this one pretty easy.
I'll agree with you, Matt Stokes. I love you, man, but
yeah, I do too.
Russell's just got a lot unstable right now that's working for them. So we're gonna go with Russell. All right, day 2, 6:30 Tuesday night. Menifee County, 61st District champions, runners-up of the 63rd Raceland. Rubber match of the season. Coach, I'll start with you.
Wow.
It's a tough one.
As I said, I think this has got a chance to be the most exciting game of the first round. I really think it does. Whew, gosh. Marty, I love you, but I just think Burgess makes the difference. I pick Menifee by 3.
Coach?
I like Menifee as well. The way Burgess played in the regional tournament last year in Gibbeton, I think they want to play in this gym in this atmosphere. So I think that's going to be the difference. Menifee.
Greg?
I agree, Menifee on that too because of Burgess.
Overtime, guys.
Overtime. Uh-oh. You got to have an overtime game every year.
Every year. There's going to be a game in there.
This is the one.
And listen, don't even come at me saying I'm a homer. Ain't happening. I'm sorry. I think Menifee gets the edge. I think they're playing really sound basketball
and
right now.
we both love Marty.
And I love, and again, listen, I love every one of the kids on Graceland. I mean, I see them in the building every single day. Nim Maynard is probably one of the most inspirational people that you'll ever see. Great kid. I would love to see Graceland go all the way through. But right now, if I had to compare apples to apples, I'm going to take Menifee in a tight game here. I think it's going to be a great basketball game.
I do too.
Bottom half of the bracket, guys. Is there any discussion or any consensus here? No, nothing against East Carter, but I mean, we're looking at apples and oranges here. Ashland's pretty solid.
Yeah, like you guys said, with Delaney returning, I mean, that just adds to that depth. And physical presence means a lot in postseason.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the semifinals now. So this will be Thursday, March 5th at 6:30. Let's make your picks for the top. So everybody but me had Boyd and Russell. Coach, I'll start with you.
They split this year, didn't they? I think
Yes.
Boyd won the first game in overtime.
Yes.
Russell won by 15 in the last game.
Yeah.
I just think Russell's playing. They've stepped it up the last couple of weeks. They're playing better. I'll go with Russell.
Coach?
Yeah, Coach Grove's been through a lot this year, and I think she's done an unbelievable job getting to play this well toward the end of the year. But I think Russell's got too much for him this time. Russell.
Coach?
Now, I think if anybody knows how Mandy Lane coaches, it's going to be Kim Groves.
Yeah.
So,
Spent several years on the bench with her.
Yep. So I'm going with Boyd County in this one.
Okay.
Now that's a home.
That's a home.
That's
yeah.
a home.
He's got, I know what his next picks will be too, but we'll see. It's okay. That's right. You can make your picks. You don't like them, make your own.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I had Morgan and Russell there. I think for whatever reason, Derek Young always plays Mandy tight. You know, they played him back in the regular season.
they did.
It was a 51-46 win by Russell, and for whatever reason, those games are always tight ball games. But I think Russell right now, they're really, really sound and playing some good basketball. I'm going to take Russell into the finals. All right, bottom half of the bracket, we've got Menifee County and Ashland. I think were we consensus across the board there? Anybody pick Graceland in the first round there? I think it was Menifee. Okay, Menifee Ashland, guys. Can Menifee keep this one close?
That's a good question. Probably not. Probably not in this one. Ashland's going to win that one.
Coach?
Yeah, Burgess can only do so much against those people, and it's not going to be enough, Ashland.
Jivenin is going to get sick of seeing Jenna Delaney.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
She may take her to the concession stand.
And Troxler on top of that half-court trap. She's going to get tired of seeing that, too. Yeah.
Troxler and Burgess would be a really good matchup on the outside, though.
Yeah.
Or goalie, too.
Yeah.
So.
I think the Raceland game, Jevitt and Burgess had, 52 between them?
51 or 52,
like between them. They would have to do something like that again to have a chance against Ashland for me. And then even with that, some of the other kids are still going to have to play. I think Ashland wins fairly easy.
Okay, off to the championship game Friday night at 7. Coach, I'll start with you. You had Russell and Ashland. Who's your champion?
Coaches have an expression that we like to use sometimes with good teams. Ashland, too many weapons. Yeah. Just too many weapons.
Coach?
You know, Mandy's one of those coaches that will adjust and do whatever it takes defensively. Some are stubborn, like I was. I could play half-court man until I had Gransberry. Then I went to 1-3-1. But she'll adjust. I could see a triangle and 2, and if they take care of the ball and do that, they can keep close. But I think it just Ashland's just got a little too much. But
a lot of ifs in there.
It's gonna be a good game, though. I think it'll be a good game. But Ashland.
If some butts were candy nuts,
that's right.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. Ashland won by 20 the first time, 15 the second time. Greg, can Russell find a way to grind this one through it and turn it into a win?
No.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, again, Ashland is just, they've got a trump card for everything you try to throw. Stacy's going to make it 3 in a row. 3 out of 4, and 4 out of 5. So I think Ashland repeats here on the girls' side. All right, we'll step out for a break. We come back, we will flip over to the boys' bracket. A new format this year. We're going to play all 4 opening round games on Saturday. We'll break it down as we continue our coverage here on the Clark's Pump and Shop 16th Region Preview Show on the Total Media Sports Network.
Good morning, Isabella.
Hi, David.
Back for your morning routine?
Clark's Refresh Rewards program is something you'll flip for.
Hey, Isabella. Hi, Annabelle.
Donut?
Don't forget the sprinkles. Cream and sugar.
Download our app today and enjoy all of the rewards. No flipping required.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
You're not the only one.
In the mountains of eastern Kentucky, Morehead State University carries on a championship tradition that gives everyone a reason to cheer. MSU is where you can win on the field and in the classroom. Join the Eagle Nation.
Life moves fast, and the moments don't wait. The first steps, the first home, the dreams you work so hard for. Where you place your trust matters. At Members Choice Credit Union, we're here for every milestone. Through the hard days, the hopeful days, and everything in between. Your money, your future, your choice.
Back here on the Clark's Pump and Shop 16th Region Preview Show, live from Morehead State University, along with Greg Preston, Coach Bill Bradley, Coach Hager Easton, and I'm James Collier. Happy to have you along with us as we switch over to the boys bracket. As these games, again, opening round games will play on Saturday. All 4 games, starting at noon. The first game, Boyd County, Elliott County. Second game will be Russell and Fleming at 1:30. Then we pause until 6:30 that evening. We go Morgan and Raceland, and close things out with Rowan County and Ashland. Guys, let's talk at the top half of the bracket here, Boyd County and Elliott County. It's no secret. You've got Jacob Spurlock. You've got a chance to win. I don't care who you're playing. And a viable Mr. Basketball candidate. And, Greg, we saw in the district championship game win over Ashland, Spur really took things over in the second half.
Oh, yeah. Second half, 6 out of 6 from three-point land. But, I mean, you know, he just took control of the whole game. Caleb Rimmer played big as well.
Rimmer was out of I mean,
Malachi Payne, you know, sees the floor so well. And then you take a look at the other guys. Gunnar Woods got into foul trouble, so he didn't get a chance to make the impact that he could have. And,
but on the backside of that, Clark Huff did come in and made a huge impact. He's getting 2 back-to-back threes.
And then Ethan Raridan's just Ethan Raridan.
Yeah.
He's solid, and he's always a threat to shoot. But this Elliott County team, too, that was pretty good. Played about, 8 days ago?
Yeah. Let's see. I've heard about Elliott County and shooting a basketball, and the rule is if you can't shoot a basketball and you leave in Sandy Hook, you move.
That's pretty good. I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, and they played within the last couple of weeks, and it was a very competitive basketball game. And when you get something this close, that is something you can go back to and scout and say, okay, where did I do wrong? What did I do with this one? But Corbin Spencer, that cat knew how to score the basketball when he played as well.
He could do it, couldn't he?
He could put him up there.
Yeah, I think Boyd got up like around 20.
They was up, I think, 18 at the end of 1, but Elliott just kept playing.
Yeah, they got it down to 5.
Yeah, they
right
got
there
it down to
at the end
5 or
of the game,
6.
So,
and Crabtree had a big night, 31 points.
Tyson's huge.
Yeah, when he gets when Elliott gets in rhythm offensively, I mean they can light it up. But one thing I do want to say, and this is probably for Boyd and Ashland both. To me, the biggest key for both those teams is they both have to remember they're not playing in the finals yet.
Yes.
And they're kids, and it's hard to get them not to do that sometimes. Boyd's playing Elliott County next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They have to remember that. They have to focus on that. Now, I know the coaching staff's going to do that. Randy's going to make them focus, but they're still kids. Can they get locked in mentally?
You look at the way Elliott plays. Lake Atkins is phenomenal. And then, of course, we talked about Tyson Crabtree. The biggest change I saw with Tyson this year when I saw him the first time over at Raceland, his physical stature is he's a man-child.
Yes.
I mean, he is strong as an ox. You can see he's really broad-shouldered, and he's gotten really solid. And, Coach, he's a guy that if you run a 4-out, 1-out in offense like Elliott runs, you put him inside and he controls the boards on himself. That allows those other 4 out top to start running that weave like they like to run, and somebody misses an assignment, it's a wide open 3.
He's got the status to play with Rimmer, and obviously, and like you guys said, the way they came back against Boyd, the seed's been planted in their head that they can beat Boyd now. So, and the LA Cats, those guys are never afraid to play anybody. I don't care what year you look at. Those guys come ready to play basketball.
Yeah.
So they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, you drive through Sandy Hook, I don't care what time of the year it is. Usually what time of the day is. The lights are on in the gymnasium, there's somebody in there shooting.
Exactly.
Ian Griffith, the point guard, he just does everything well. And you look at this team, very junior-heavy team, that basically had to play as 8th graders and freshmen varsity basketball due to some circumstances. So they've been there, done that, and it's like they've had a lot of games under their belts to where the stage shouldn't be too big for them.
No, it's not going to be too big for them. But the other side, there's Jacob Spurlock.
Yeah. And Malachi Payne has been so big for them this year.
He has. You know, he's averaging almost 9 assists a game. I mean, he just controls everything, and Spurlock gets a lot of good looks because of him.
You know, I kid about it, and this is I always say this. Mally always looks like he's just so bored, and it's just that's his demeanor. He doesn't care if it snows oats, and it's just nothing about the game gets him off his game. He is very cool, calm, and collected, even across the board. And I think the only time I've seen him show any full emotion this year, it was in a game against Fairview in the opening round of the district tournament. He finally went up and tried to dunk one, and he rim stuffed it again, and he laughed when he did it. I think it's the only time I've seen him make any emotion on the floor this year.
Yeah. I watched the game the other night. I was there at the finals, and I'd watch him. For some reason, I keyed on him as well, and Ashley made a huge run. Got called timeout. He just walks off. Boyd makes a huge run. They scored 12 points in a row. He just walks off. Okay. And it was amazing to me that, like, you're right.
He looks like he's lost his best friend every time, but that's just, and you know, Coach, that's sometimes a demeanor for your point guard.
Oh.
Short memory, nothing gets to them, nothing rattles them, the stage is not too big.
Yeah, it's just like playing quarterback in the NFL. You got to put it behind you because it doesn't matter, and he does a good job of that. He's very good at controlling pace for Boyd County. He makes good decisions, when to push it, when to attack. If nothing's there, he's really good at bringing it back out. Hey, we'll run something, and a lot of times get the ball to Spurlock. But he's good at that.
And Mally Payne's such a good on-ball defender.
He
don't get credit for that, but he's really good there.
The biggest thing that I think Elliott County has to be able to do in this basketball game is they have to survive the wave. And what I'm talking about is that Boyd County surge. You can't let it go. You can get it 6-7, but you can't let it get out to 10, 12, 15-0 runs. You got to stop those surges. When they get a 6-0 run, you got to stop it right then. You can't let it continue to compound.
Yeah, and that's why they were able to come back the other night. The best thing for me about Elliott County, guys, is I think you could turn one of their games on, not knowing where it's at. You could turn one of their games on, mute the TV, and you wouldn't know if they were up 20 or down 20. I mean, they're playing the same. They never look nervous. They never look rushed. They play their game, and that's why they were able to cut that game.
Yeah.
Because I watched that game.
Yes.
That's why they were able to get it back to 5 that night.
Yeah, they just keep playing. They just keep playing.
They do. They keep their cool and play.
It should be a good first-round matchup.
And Coach, you mentioned that wave they have to stop. Well, that's when sometimes the media timeouts come in, because you want to burn all your timeouts, stopping runs. Well, then you got that ones coming up in 20 seconds. Well, let's hold off 20 seconds, and that's calm everybody down.
And we see so many times throughout the tournament that coaches forget about how to execute that media timeout, and they'll burn 1, 2, 3 seconds away from it, and then we'll play 2, 3 seconds, and we'll get another timeout.
Exactly.
So media timeouts under 3 minutes in the tournament.
Not at 3 minutes.
Not at 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Under 3 minutes. The bottom half of that bracket, Russell and Fleming. Russell, a team that Derek probably, I would say, this is his best team that he's had since he's been there.
Yeah, I think so. Their pieces in this team, they fit together really well. Everybody understands their roles on this team, and they play them so well. And to me, if I were ranking the teams, I mean, Boyd National's right there together, so close. I would put Russell probably as the next best team in the region. And they've done a great job this year.
The biggest thing that Russell got this year was the addition of Jagger Prickett.
Yeah.
Because that gave them a point guard that allowed Burgess to move into his prototypical two-guard position. And you could really tell what that's done for the offense.
One's got a 1 that goes to a 2, the 2 goes to a 3, and just on down the line. I watched the other night against Raceland, and what impressed me was that, Ray's had a great game plan to slow it down, take care of it. But Russell just kept playing. They came out a little more aggressive second half, and Prickett was a big part of that, getting the ball to the right people. And then that really impressed me, the way they kept their cool. Because you know what happens, you get in those games, if you're a favorite and you start locking up a little bit. They didn't. They just kept coming.
Their post guy of Tyler Cordial, he's a guy that just kind of had to wait his turn. He had other guys in front of him. Rimmer was there last year. Damon Charles was there. That goes back into the fact of Brady Bell before that. There's been some really good post players there, Greg, but Tyler Cordial, a senior, you could really tell this year he's understanding that urgency of this is the last go, I got to make something big happen.
Yeah, and he's doing it good on both ends of the floor. Offensively, he's really improved. He could always rebound, but now on the offensive end, he's become a threat.
Yeah. He'll step out and hit the three.
Yeah,
Let him have it,
he
too.
will.
Caden Benj is a kid that he's just a guy he and Gabe Pridemore both. They're just kind of the utility workers. Benj more on the defensive side.
Right.
Pridemore's a guy that you all of a sudden look up and he's got 10 points, but he's just so quick with the way he does things. The biggest thing with Russell is their depth. That is the one thing. And again, when you get on that bigger floor, having those players that, maybe you can go 7 deep on the bench, but your production drops off tremendously.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's a great point with Russell, and that those 5 have to stay on the floor, James. They got to stay out of foul trouble. Benj, even as big as Cordial is, Benj is probably the physical presence for Russell. He's really good at going to the glass off or offensive rebounding and taking it to the rim off the dribble, and they've got to stay out of foul trouble, and Derek might want to use some timeouts for rest.
Yes, for sure. All right, Buddy Biggs playing without an Adam Hargett, a Seth Hickerson, Lucas Jolly. I mean, it's been a challenging year for him of a lot of players that have been role players that have moved into the starting 5. But Cannon Killman, Michael Cropper, Jacob Johnson, those have been the guys that kind of stirred the drink this year for the Panthers.
Absolutely, and to me, the biggest thing that for Fleming to have a chance in this game, guys, they lost a very demoralizing game last night. I mean, they dominated that game for 3 quarters. They were up like 19 or 20 in the third quarter, still up 18 starting the fourth quarter, and still up 9 with 3 minutes and 25 seconds to go, and then Brown scored the last 12 points to win it. But can they bounce back from that and get their enthusiasm, their energy back up? Can they do that? And those kids you mentioned, first 3 quarters, they all played well in that game last night.
Last quarter struggled.
Yeah.
And they're coming in hobbling too. One's got either fractured wrist or something. He just told me a little bit ago. And one's got a real bad case of turf toe. And but I know Buddy. I've seen him for 15, 20
Great
years
coach.
now, and he'll have them ready to go. But like you said, they got to get over that mindset.
For sure. All right, bottom half of the bracket. We start off with a really good matchup: Morgan County and Raceland. This was a really good matchup when they met in the All-A up at Raceland. Raceland won that game 71-66. And then, let's see, did they?
I don't think they played.
They didn't play. No, they did play. Raceland got them again, 71-66. Nope, I take it back. That was the.
I think the boys just played once.
Yeah, they just played once. I was thinking of the girls. Okay. So you look at Morgan, the pieces are there. But when the Barker kid got eligible, that was a huge addition to stick into that puzzle.
Well, it gave them something, James, that coaches hate to try to prepare for, and that's 5 players on the floor that can all score, can all put it on the floor, can all make threes, and can all make free throws.
Yeah.
So nothing against the Whit kid that was starting. I mean, he got in there and did for Morgan what he could do.
Right.
But Barker elevated them to the next level. And they're tough to guard, man.
Greg, you replace a player that was averaging 0.4 points a game with a player that's averaging 19.6. That changes things around a little
that
bit.
changes the scenario a whole lot.
Yeah.
But as like Coach said, they've got so many guys that can score. It's hard to defend somebody
And
like
it's
that.
a different guy every night. It's not the
Yes.
same guy every night that's out there. You get different players. You got Asher Gamble, Parker Trusty, Grayson Hampton, Eli Bradley, and now Aiden Barker. That's your starting five.
And Morgan County's an unselfish team.
Absolutely. I mean, they move the basketball. They shoot at nearly 40% from the three. They've shot 664 threes this year, 76% from the free throw line.
Unbelievable.
The only problem that they struggle with, and this is the big thing that they will struggle with in this basketball game with Raceland, is they stink on the glass.
Absolutely.
They only average 24 rebounds a game. And when you look at Raceland, one of the better rebounding teams of the tournament, that's the Achilles heel with this Morgan County team. Now, there's one thing with that. Ball goes through the net, you don't have to rebound anything. You just the team catches it, and that's something that Morgan County's got to have.
Yes, no question there. But I think this is going to be a great first-round matchup.
I think so, too. Coach, you look at Raceland. You came up and did a game with me there against Lewis County, and that is when Raceland flipped the script on what this season was going to be. It was a defining moment, that game right there. And there were some personnel changes that moved around, some things they were trying to figure some stuff out, and that night was the first night it all clicked. And it all starts with Joan Arnett and Chuck Welch.
Yeah, I was, of course, I saw the score the first time they played Lewis, and I said, well, this might be a decent game. And then I saw the way they played. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they took Lewis to the woodshed.
The team.
Scotty Taggart, that was his exact words. He said, we got took to the woodshed.
The teamwork, the passing, the hustle, the defense, the aggressiveness. I mean, I couldn't believe when I saw the final score of this game how Lewis County beat the first time. But like you said, there's some changes going on maybe, but that works out. But kudos to Joe for bringing them along this way.
Without a doubt. We've done several games together this year for Raceland. Charles Welch, I don't know, we said, I don't know what you started eating, but keep doing it. And maybe it's that again, that senior understanding, hey, that light of the tunnel, it's dimming very quickly. I'm about to play my last high school basketball game. I want to get everything out of it I can. And over these last 2.5 weeks, he has brought something to his game that he has missed for the first 3 years, and that's physicality.
Yes. It's went from here, and we've talked about that so much, James, from here to here in his physicality. His fire, his determination, his competitiveness, it's just really stepped up. And I think it does have a lot to do with what you just said. This is my senior year, it's my last year. He has really come on, and he's going to have a good game, I think, in this game.
Greg, 6'8", that gets you a lot of things in this, especially in high school basketball.
It does.
And that's the thing is that Morgan County does not have anybody that's going to be able to go out there and go toe-to-toe with him. So that puts Morgan County in a lot of positions of they've got to help, they've got to get off, and the problem with that is that one of those guys that helps off is going to leave somebody on those wings, and that leaves out, you've got your point guard, Jake Waller, that can step out. You've got Josiah Large can come off the bench. Eli Keynes is the other post guy that can step out there. I mean, they've got the option to step out and shoot the basketball.
They do, but I think that Welch helps so much on the defensive end. It's going to force Morgan to shoot from the outside.
Yeah.
Because you bring it into paint, it's probably going back.
Yeah, he's
that
pretty
good.
good about that.
He's that good.
So the other thing about Charles Welch is don't forget, he shoots basketball pretty well from long range too.
And the free throw line.
Yeah.
Both,
He's leading free throw shooter on the team.
Yeah.
Over 80%. And I mean, he is not afraid to step out 21 feet and bomb one away.
And he can make it.
He can make it. This one right here, put this one on your calendar. It's going to be a dandy.
I think so.
All right, final opening round game on Saturday at 8 p.m. Champions of the 61st Rowan County, the 7-time defending region champions, the Ashland Tomcats. I mean, no slight against Rowan County whatsoever, but I mean, this is David versus Goliath.
I think so. I know Rowan County is going to be coming in on a high. They're on the opposite side of Fletcher County after a win like that. But these teams didn't play unless I missed the game. They were scheduled, but everybody changing games because of the snow and everything. Yeah, Ashland, they just, again, use the same term I used for the girls in this game. Too many weapons for Ashland.
Yeah, I mean, it starts up top with Elijah Neal. And the ability to get everybody involved, 1. 2, get downhill. And then 3, he gets after it on the defensive end. I mean, he is just a utility tool or utility knife, I should say, for Ryan Bonner that you don't get often. And he is a guy that he's kind of like Gabby Carley. He doesn't care if he scores 10 points or no points as long as they get the victory.
Yeah, and he's so crafty too. I mean, he's so good at pivoting and getting open, getting his body around people.
He wiggles through there, yeah.
He does. And if you back off even a step, man, his 3-point shooting, he can knock it down. He's a leader on that team.
Yeah.
The Caleb Clark combo that goes with him.
Yeah.
Greg, we watched him the other night in the district championship game. Caleb's a kid that plays above the rim.
Yep.
Has so much physicality. But that shot that he hit with about 11 seconds to go in that ball game, he was 27 feet away
at least.
And it was the only 3 he shot all night.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, usually he don't miss against us.
Yeah.
And he stepped up again. I mean, he's a great ball player, great high school ball player.
Drew Smith, another kid, coach, that has had a phenomenal career there after transferring from Boyd. He shoots it with so much confidence, and he's a guy, when one goes in, you start seeing multiple go in.
Yeah, I saw him 2 or 3 times against Boyd the other night, and if you have your hands down on him, hands down, man down, they say, it's going up, and he doesn't care how far out he is either. And he's also a great defender. People got to remember that as well. And the thing with Ashland is, they're not that deep. They play 6 guys.
5, maybe 6 guys.
Yeah, Strader going for a little bit.
Yeah.
So foul trouble, and again on this floor, but that's where those media timeouts come in, and Coach Bonner's real good about that to get them rest. But you get them in foul trouble, that could be a detriment to them.
Well, and you know, speaking of foul trouble the other night, Coach Anderson did a good job putting Huff in for Woods with his 4 fouls, and Huff played really well.
He did. Those little backdoor cuts he had was great.
Yes.
Ashland's got 2 unknowns in Elijah Owens and Justin Hughes that have not been on the big floor in this situation. Both phenomenal athletes, both can jump out of the gymnasium, but in that first game of this magnitude, sometimes those lights get really bright.
Yeah, it's an adjustment. I mean, it really is, because that thought is there, hey, lose, we're done. And that other thought is there, as you just mentioned, we don't want to be the team that breaks the streak. So they don't want to be known as that. 7 in a row, there's pressure there to keep it going.
I think if it wasn't such a Davy Goliath, like you said, and they might be a little tighter, but I think a game like this, if they get a lead, they'll start playing loose, and they'll be fine.
Without a doubt. All right, guys, let's make our picks, and then we'll wrap things up here for the 2026 tournament. All right, Battle of the Lions in the upper half of the bracket. Greg, I'll start with you. Boyd County, Elliott County. You got to see that game about 8 days ago. It was a really good ball game.
It was a really good ball game, but I think Boyd County has too much firepower.
Coach?
Be high scoring. I think Ellis could be in there, but I got to pick Boyd.
Coach E?
I think it'll be a better game than what most people think, kind of like the one out there at Boyd a few days ago. But, Boyd at the end. Corbin Spencer's done a great job. Phenomenal job.
Yes.
And, you know, he is not too far from connected to playing on this floor.
No, he's not.
So he knows what to expect, and so are his team. They know what it feels like to play on this big floor.
And having a lot of success on this floor,
and I think that's going to be huge. You know, first game out of the tournament, you're playing against a favorite, one of the favorites of the 16th region. You're not going to be intimidated. And especially playing 8 days ago, you felt like that, hey, I competed with this team.
Yeah.
If we'd have maybe a couple shots go here, get a defensive stop here, maybe something goes well. But for them to keep this game close, Crabtree's got to have another big game.
Absolutely. Had 30 cents on that.
31.
Yeah.
I'll also go with Boyd in this, but I think it's going to be a very good ball game. Russell Fleming, Coach E.
Yeah, these 2 teams didn't play this year. I think, again, they were scheduled, but the snow
knocked it out.
Of it. I just can't see Fleming recovering from that just demoralizing loss the other night. Russell will be ready to go. Buddy's a great coach, but it's got to be Russell for me.
Coach?
I think so too. And plus, like I said before, they're hobbling in. They're injured anyway. And I throw that in what you said about the loss and the way Russell came back and won the other night. That's big for them. Yeah, I got Russell.
Yeah, I agree with that. Derek's just got too much for him.
Yeah, the pieces of the puzzle that are that starting 5, just too deep there, and they do too much. Russell, I think this one pretty handily. All right, bottom half of the bracket. This will start at 6:30 Saturday night. Morgan County and Raceland. This one should be a dandy. Coach E?
I haven't wrote this one down yet.
Yeah, he's
James.
not. He actually hasn't. He's got a circle there.
Yet.
It's like hoping I was getting other people to talk about it.
I think this is kind of like, we said there's going to be one really, really good game in the girls. I think this is the really good first round game in the boys. I really like the way Raceland's playing. As we talked about, they're playing, through Arnett and Welch first. The other three guys are stepping in there, taking advantage of things. I will say one thing about this game. If Raceland's going to win this game, they better be ahead when the clock hits down to about 4 minutes. Because if they don't,
they're in trouble.
Morgan's going to spread the floor and shoot free throws.
Yes, for sure.
Come back to me on this.
No comeback. You're
No
up.
comeback.
You gotta go. No comebacks.
Gosh, coming off a big win against Elliott in the district championship. I like the way Raceland was playing. I like the way they played in the first half. I thought they played a great first half against Russell. They just ran out of gas that second half. I'm gonna go Raceland 61-60.
Okay, Coach.
This is my overtime game.
Okay.
If you want to, I'm going to go Raceland overtime.
Coach.
Raceland in a really tight one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be decided by 3 points. I'm also going to go Raceland this. The moxie they're playing with right now, they've got a lot of confidence, and I think there's a lot of pieces there. The X factor this one is the Barker kid did not play for Morgan when they played in the regular season.
That's correct.
He was not eligible to play at that point. All right, bottom half, round Ashland, David and Goliath. Anybody taking David?
No.
Unfortunately, no. I think Ashland wins this one pretty handily as they roll past Round County, who comes in at 14-14. All right, we go into the semifinals. These will be on Monday, March the 9th, 6:30 and 8 o'clock. Across the board, guys, Boyd and Russell. Coach, who you got here?
I've got Boyd County in this one now. Take it for what it's worth. A really good ball game about a month ago down at Russell. Mm-hmm. Boyd should have won that by more than what they did.
Absolutely.
And
they just about
they
gave
let
that
Russell
away.
get back into it. But I think Jacobs.
They were up 10 with a minute to go.
10 with a minute to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one should be a dandy,
yes.
Coach.
Yeah, final score ended up 76-73. So that gives, again, Russell confidence. But on this floor, I think Boyd will beat him.
And I think Russell had a 3 to tie that game.
Had a
They
chance.
did.
It wasn't a
had a
very
chance
good
to tie
look,
it,
but they got the look.
Yeah.
And I think that might be the worst thing that could have happened for Russell was coming back on Boyd, because that will help him focus in this game.
Yes.
Boyd.
Yeah, I'll go with Boyd as well. Bottom half of the bracket, Raceland, Ashland. This is a game that played last week of the regular season. Now, put an asterisk on if you want to. Neal did not play in that game.
Right.
He was coming off of an ankle injury in practice, so he did not play in that game. But Raceland had a halftime lead, led in the third, was close in the fourth. The final score was not indicative. Ashland got a little free throws and a nice run there at the end. But the one thing that I talked with Joe after this game, he said, I felt really confident, and my guys felt really confident that they were able to go up there and compete. And I thought that was one of the biggest things that kind of put them in the position they're in right now, of being able to make a run. So, Greg, Raceland, Ashland.
Ashland.
Coach.
I was at that game, and Raceland, I thought, let's see if they come in afraid. They were not afraid. They just came in and played ball. But I think Ashland got too many weapons here. Yeah. But I think it'd be a decent game.
For sure.
Go back first. Did we all pick Raceland in that?
We did.
Yep.
Okay, we've made everybody in West Liberty mad. So, gosh, I hope nobody knows where I live in Grayson. But
I can show you if you need it. Okay?
You probably would.
I would do that. I'll put a map on social media.
Yeah,
with his cell phone number.
I think won this game 2 points with 6 minutes to go. I think. I think Raceland was down 2.
Yeah.
Great game plan by Coach Bryan that night. I thought he played exactly the way he needed to play to beat Ashland. But again, just like I said about the Boyd Russell, that might have been the worst thing if they're going to meet up again for Raceland. They've scared Ashland.
Yeah.
So they'll be focused in this game. I think Ashland.
Yeah, I'll go with Ashland in this one as well. 5th consecutive year, guys. It would be Boyd Ashland for a championship. Do we unseat the champs, or is it the grade 8 for the Tomcats when they cut down the nets on Tuesday at 7 o'clock? Coach E.
I have to go first in this game again. I always have to go first in all the tough games.
All right.
I'll make everybody.
That's why
mad.
we pay you the big bucks.
Yeah. I'll make everybody mad to start. Guys, these two teams are so close. I mean, they really are. Ashland beat them, 13 the first time they played? That
Yeah.
was, of course, on Ashland's home
It's
court.
actually worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tightened up late.
It did. Boyd Ashland was in control of the whole game.
Yes.
Then the game at Boyd was, 93 to 86.
Yeah,
93
great game.
It was
It was.
Boyd had the
Great game.
lead, and then Ashland
Yeah.
had a surge
Yeah.
late.
Ashland put on that 1-2-2 press
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
turned the
Caused a
tide of
problem.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. I haven't used this term yet, but this is definitely, for me, a coin flip game. I mean, you could flip the coin and come
Totally
as close
agree.
as you could pick it.
Totally agree.
Two things for me in this game. Who's going to answer the other team's run the quickest? Because they both will answer.
Yep.
But in games like this, you just can't let the other team get an 8-9 point run on you, I don't think.
Well,
it's
and
too much pressure.
Speaking of that, the first two ball games, Ashland jumped out 9-0.
Yeah,
That's right.
They did.
And then
exactly.
they didn't the other night.
Yeah.
So, get my coin out. Last year you had a T-shirt said seventh heaven. Okay.
8 is
8
great.
is great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Until somebody beats them.
Yeah.
Ashland.
Ric Flair says it. To be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Coach.
I know.
You're gonna make somebody mad. You've been in both places.
Probably wear my Holy Family.
I know. I see that. With the 4-leaf clover.
Yeah, he needs a little
That's
luck
right,
here.
that's
Yeah,
right.
he does.
This is a game I hate.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be a
wanna-
great game.
I don't want to put it this way, but I hope the refs don't affect the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get guys in foul trouble this game, it could screw the whole thing up for either team.
Because that was something on Friday night or Thursday night, in the championship. I thought the officials did a great job of letting the game play
Yeah.
itself out.
Yeah.
It wasn't determined by a whistle. They let them play through.
Yeah.
I thought that was huge.
And I hope they play it the same way with the referees anyway. I think we get the 15th this year. 14th this year, okay.
Southeastern Kentucky.
Now, since I'm on the asterisk on this now,
No, asterisk. Hey, no. You tell him what you told me now.
I'm on that only because I'm on the Ashland School Board. I'm picking Ashland.
picking
Picking
Ashland.
Ashland.
Greg,
The run's over.
the run's over.
Runs over.
Yeah.
Boys
I
gonna
mean,
take it.
Got in sometime,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I
8 is
mean,
not great.
Jacob Spurlock.
Yeah.
Now, but I also think a big key is going to be Caleb Rimmer.
Yeah. Rimmer got anything.
win
He
this
got
team.
anything he wanted. in
Well,
the
I
district
knew he
championship.
was ready to play on the second or third possession when he tried to throw it home.
Yeah.
Got fouled.
Yeah.
At that point, I thought, we're good now.
Well, the coaches knew about those 9-0 runs.
Yeah.
That's why we got having inside his presence at first to stop that stuff from going on.
Well, I thought that was a great strategy by Coach Anderson in that game.
No doubt.
To get Rimmer, ball screen,
Yes.
switch, and going downhill or post. And I thought that really energized his defense in that game.
Absolutely.
I mean, he had
Exactly
4 or
right.
5 block shots
Yes.
first half. But I think if these two teams play, and I think they will, I really don't think either team will have what we call a close game to get to this game. But I think you will see Bonner play the ball screen different
100%.
than the way he played in that game.
I agree with that. And if you take a look back last year, Jackson Childers gave him trouble.
Exactly.
The one thing I will say about this game, going back to this year's championship game, I said Ashland looked very vanilla.
Yeah.
With the way they played out. Offensively, the way they played defensively. There are some other weapons that defensively, offensively, that they can present that they just simply didn't in that game. The big thing of it too is that Boyd can't go out and shoot 1 for 9 in the first half from 3.
And fall behind.
Yeah.
And fall
Yeah,
behind
a big
like
deficit,
in a
yeah.
big deficit. But the big part was that Spurlock was slow getting going in that game. Rimmer was huge in the first half.
Absolutely.
You can't have a slow start in this basketball game. If Boyd gets behind 7, 8, 9 points, it puts it right in where Ashland wants us to be. The biggest key for this game that will determine if we're within a 2-4 point ball game either way after 1 quarter of play, I think we're going to be settled in for a great final
I do
championship.
too.
Yeah.
I agree.
So-
And it should be. Man,
Spurlock's got some unfinished
That's what I was
business in
getting
this
ready to say.
game
He
because
does.
he left this game with an ankle injury last year.
Spurlock's the best high school shooter I've ever seen.
well, that's what I was getting.
No doubt.
He makes shots just like the shot he made
Yes.
at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It was kind of like you could see he was standing over there, and Payne had the ball, and Spurlock was out there, and Payne kept looking at him. It's like Spurlock was saying, I'll come and get the ball when I'm ready. It's kind of what he looked at on his face.
Yeah.
But that shot that he made, it's unguardable.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
And when you have somebody like that, okay, now To me, Ashland should have doubled him right there when they got
No
down.
doubt.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
But he does. He makes shots. He's a great shooter. You're right. He's one of the best players ever been in this region.
Yes.
Broke the scoring record.
Yes.
The kid's had a great career. And
I agree, Coach, and it could be somebody. If that situation again, somebody else has got to be.
Oh, 100%.
It's not going to be Spurlock.
Yeah.
somebody other than two is going to beat me.
Yeah.
Bar will let that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Without a doubt.
Spurlock's all-around game has evolved.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Over
1,000
1,000
rebounds.
rebounds.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to play his 165 or 160th varsity game. I mean, just it's crazy.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while. So, and he did set the record for boys most points scored in a career, breaking Chris Ferguson's record. So, I mean, it's going to be a dandy. Just like I said, it's going to be 5 years in a row that we see the same one. But we'll see, can Boyd stop the streak?
So did you make your pick?
Ashland.
Okay, you're going Ashland.
It's
Coach, real quick,
It's written down there, Coach.
Okay.
Unlike you,
I hadn't heard you
flipping
say it.
coins and circling things and.
Bradley's getting ripped already.
That's
Well, Hager gets on me about something all the time. Well, I just got a text from his daughter. Who gave you the mic? So I give it for the whole family, Coach. The whole family.
She loves you.
Gosh. She does. I know she does.
Don't forget, we will be with you each and every night on the opening round nights. We will begin our pregame coverage with Countdown to Tip-Off and Papa John's Pizza Game Changer at 5:50. We will tip things off at 6:30 and then 8 o'clock or 25 minutes after the conclusion of the first game. That's on the first two nights of Monday and Tuesday. Then the girls' semifinals on Thursday at 6:30 and 8. Again, our Papa John's Game Changer pregame show will begin at 5:50. And then on Friday night at 7 p.m., we will have Russell and Ashland. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. And our pregame show coverage will begin at 6:20. So for the boys on Saturday, it'll go 12, 1:30, 6:30, and 8. We'll begin coverage at 11:20 on Saturday morning. Then you'll have the semifinals on Monday at 6:30 and 8. Championship Tuesday at 7. Again, you can catch all the action right here on the Total Media Sports Network. Guys, fun show. Hard to believe here we are again. It's postseason basketball.
Had a great time.
But,
This is great.
It's looks like the weather's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Which again, somebody was talking about weather. I said, you don't understand. I said it's Kentucky high school basketball. We put a dome on the state. We play basketball in the state. Weather doesn't slow us down.
No.
So, but it'll be a fun tournament. Looking forward to seeing you guys over in Moorhead this week.
Sounds good.
Hat tip to Jacob Hankins behind the scenes, taking care of everything over there. Greatly appreciate his efforts as well.
man.
Hey, he actually didn't forget the audio this year, so he's made a step forward. Guys, thanks so much for the show. Enjoy it. We'll talk to you this week. For Jacob Hankins, Coach Hager Eastling, Coach Bill Bradley, and Greg Preston, I'm James Collier. We'll talk to you next week right here on the Total Media Sports Network. Thank you for watching the 2026 16th Region Tournament Preview Show on the Total Media Sports Network. Be certain to join us every night for live coverage of the Boys and Girls Tournament beginning Monday night from Johnson Arena, right here on the Total Media Sports Network.